One of the most impressive day of my life is when I was introduced to an understanding of how important it is to understand our internal process on how to make and arrive at making decision. The idea also came with the understanding that in order to understand major decisions that change our lives, it's also important to understand how we arrived at making decisions. Not the big decisions, but everyday decisions. You wake up in the morning, you think you're going to be with people, so you understand the importance of having to brush your teeth and then to comb your hair and to groom yourself so that you can be presented well. And then the next decision making is, how do I want to improve them? And that will be translated into how we wear, what we wear, clothes, all that. And but the most important part is knowing that there's an internal process that goes into making every decisions you and I make in life. And this is part of what I have learned in doing YouTube, because speaking in front of people or speaking in front of the camera is not new to me. It has been my lifestyle for many, many years, having a vision of taking people around the world, bringing people from one culture to another. I taught the process of cross-cultural communication and also taught the process on communicating the importance that every culture must have a contribution for the world to be a better place to live. So I have broken that down into so many other decision making or decisions that I have arrived at, because most of the time we make decisions and we blame somebody else. Have you ever been in that place where you made a decision in life and you thought that was the best decision, but then you realize it's not the right decision, and then it's very easy to say, well, somebody pressured me to do it. Well, we are not, because even with people pressing us on what to do, it always comes how important are those people to us. And that's how we determine to make decisions that has an impact. Now, the best part that we can do about decision making is to own from the beginning of a process to arrive at a decision making to where we can either accept the value or accept the consequences. And the consequences, if it was a wrong decision, we can go back and follow the trail of where that decision came from, because it was internalized first. And then we made a decision that we can live with. And if it is a wrong decision, you go back and change the input and the data that allow you to make that decision. But if it is a good one, you go back and realize this source of data and information was a good one. And then the next time we make a decision, we can look back, where did I get that data from? How did I get it? And how did I arrive at making that decision? Because some of the decisions we make, we have done it so many times that we forget. It becomes conscious, self-conscious. What's the word? It becomes something we don't even think about, because we have done it so many times at the background. But then new decisions come and we're looking for data. That's the reason why sometimes it's not good that we flood our minds with all of this data input that come from the outside. We think about what they think about, we think about what they say, and then we make decisions to avoid. But if you have the value of information that you're now making a decision to move forward with it, and it's a decision that you have processed and understood. This is not about pleasing anybody. This is not about having these people happy with me. This is about me being happy with the decision. And when you are happy with the decision you make, the decision will have a stronger impact, not only for now, but when we are challenged by that same decision into the future. Because you and I know that regardless of what decision we make, sometimes it's the best decision because it has immediate feedback and validation. Sometimes that decision can be challenged and pushed back by other people. And so we go back and we say, do I still need to make the decision alive and move forward, or do I need to change? The one thing that we cannot afford to do is when we are pushed back by other people about a decision we make, is to go back and make sure we own the decision in the first place. By owning the decision, you have skin in the game. And that skin in the game is come high, what's the word? Come anything, it doesn't matter, because this is my decision. I own it. Decision also come with consequences. And consequences are either it is a right decision and we move forward with it, or it's a wrong decision and we pivot to make the next decision better. Pivot is the right answer. Moving forward, sometimes we make decisions and we don't do anything. And when it comes time to pivot, you cannot pivot because there's nowhere to pivot. You are still on the same place. You made the decision. So making decision has to do with an internal process that we all go through. I was introduced to this concept by a gentleman who was teaching. His background was he and his company taught the group of people in NASA on the question, how can we bring the astronaut from the moon back to Earth? We know how to take them from the Earth to the moon, but how can we bring them back? So they had to go back and look at the data that they have accepted as a premise for making a decision to go there. Because if you have a premise to arrive at certain place, you can also use the same data to do a to make the next level of decision that will bring you back to a place of outcome, good outcome. So that was how I was introduced. And then I realized that because I was a trainer, I had training around the world on different decision making, especially in leadership. But we could take people back, especially leaders. And if you are a leader in your own life, you understand the importance of taking people to their decision-making process. Where did the decision came from? What data did we collect? How much of the data that we collect is real? How much of what we need to leave room for correction while we are moving forward with the decision is important. Now, I say this all because I have discovered coming to YouTube that I like the idea of presenting on video, but I also realized that what my involvement with YouTube includes now is my own learning and going into my internal process on me, the real me. So when I make a decision to go on the YouTube, even on a subject that I want to talk and share about, I have to look at where I arrived at the conclusion that this is the right subject and the right direction to go. And I've taken steps to making that real. So when I heard the idea that YouTube is looking for people who want to create about them, the platform is available, which is a huge platform. It's the second largest search engine in the world, which means that it has the capacity to reach millions and even billion people, and yet is dependent upon the individual creativity and the individual creators to create their world around their video. So when you consider doing a YouTube video, one of the best part about this whole decision that I made and how I have arrived at this place after 2 months of starting YouTube, doing about, right now on my YouTube channel, there are about 80 videos that I have produced personally, different subject, and sometimes every time a subject is being thrown into my mind, I think of, it's amazing. You begin to think of, if I say this, what would these people say? What would these people, how many people? And you ended up with this malaise of ideas. And at the same time, it can, if you're not careful, you can begin to become like somebody else because you thought that's what people prefer you when you say things like this. So in my journey on this, I have talked about the will of God. I have thought about where the data came from for me to understand and appreciate what the will of God is. And hearing the voice of God, I have personally walked through that journey of how to hear the voice of God and the benefits I have received. So instead of doing a subject on the video and thinking, what would people think? I'm talking about how I have experienced firsthand the value of having what I'm talking about. And that's part of what I think YouTube will offer to you and I, and why I'm encouraging everybody who listen to my videos to please consider doing a YouTube channel for yourself. Number one, it is part of where you can evaluate some of the decisions and some of the things that you're doing pertaining to the data that you base. Sometimes even when you're not mobile or you're not moving forward, you're making a decision to stay still because somehow the data you collect is better and safe for you. But you and I know that life is never meant to be stagnant. Life is never meant to be stale. Is it stale? The right word? But life is meant to enjoy and to live every day to the fullest. Not according to what other people think and say, to you, having the capacity to evaluate. If I'm talking about this, what are the benefits I have derived from this? How am I encouraging somebody else? Just let me tell you a story. And before I tell you this story of an exciting part of my own journey, because as I have been, I'm 73 years old. I am a double amputee with many health issues. Yet, at the same time, I realize my contribution to share with other people is not coming to an end. It's not me sitting still. I accept the fact that I'm not as mobile as I want to or will be, but I am also not very sure that my contribution is not limited to what my physical conditions is, especially now with technology and the expansion of YouTube and the internet. I have the opportunity to find a platform that I can offer service, offer help, offer contribution to other people to make their lives better, because that's how I wanted life to be. So let me tell you a story, because I'm having assistants coming to my house with what they call the hospice nurse, or the nurse that goes around with a service to people that are immobile like myself. And this young lady came, she's 27 years old. She came to my house and we talked about this, and I was telling her how I have discovered the beauty of YouTube. And she had a lot of social media involvement with different things. But I sat down with her, and the more every week we visit, there seemed to be another layer of conversation that pertains to her. And I discovered this is the same for everybody. Everybody have thought about doing something in the past. Maybe even last night you dream about that. Or maybe yesterday you had a conversation with somebody and you were talking about, I want my life to be different than what I am today. But most people, that's the conversation, but what are you doing? So I said to her, here's a couple of things. One is some people are happy to talk to other people. They don't think twice about how their voice come across. But when they are challenged to do a YouTube video, they're more conscious of their voice, they're more conscious of their face, I'm not good looking. It doesn't matter, because people are not looking for you to be good looking. As a matter of fact, they're looking for you to have a healthy attitude, an attitude that is contagious, that you're the person that anything is possible regardless. So I said to her, do you have a hard time with your voice? And she said, yeah, I have a hard time with my voice. And I said, do you have a hard time seeing yourself in the camera? And she said, that's the worst part. I don't like to see myself on camera. So I said to her, so how are you going to present yourself? And by the way, AI also can provide you with a a faceless YouTube video. It's just your voice. And so we talked, and I said, every week that she comes, because she comes to my house twice a week, we talk about what's important to her, but we also come down to this. And I keep saying to her, so when am I going to see your face on YouTube? and finally, people have different reasons. People also put up different reasons why they don't want to do. They want it, but they don't want to do it. Let me give you a secret. The place where you are supposed to act is when your fears and your worries are real. Make a decision to start. Whatever you want to do, you do. But remember this, when your mind is in doing something, there will be 1,000 reasons that come on why you shouldn't do it because. Why? Because it's self-preservation. It's better to be alone than to have all these people see you, and then some of them are going to enjoy it, like it, but there are other people that are going to see you and say, I don't like the way you talk. I don't like the way you don't smile at all. So all of those reasons are reasons why people stop moving forward. I have decided, okay, this is what YouTube says. And I am now in a place where I am evaluating my own internal process. There are decisions that I have made in the past that have altered a little bit, not a lot, altered a little bit who I am. You understand what I'm saying? Maybe you compromised on something that you were not supposed to compromise, but because you didn't want to come across like you're self-righteous or this, you made the decision, but internally you compromised. Those are the places and decisions that will allow us to veer so far away from our true person. And this is one of the things I like about what YouTube is doing. It's saying, this is where you can go back and rediscover where you once were this. And once you identify that, then you can make decisions that allow you to say, I want to be, the word is aligned, where, when the moon, the stars, and everything align, something happened underneath in the earth. When your heart, your mind, the data, and your decision making is aligned, nothing can stop you. And the best thing that you can do at that time is to make a decision to do it. So I have always wanted to have, by the way, I wrote a book on my journey on how I took a group from the Pacific Islands to all over the world and do presentations. It doesn't matter what we do, presentations in front of thousands of people, in front of 10 people, in front of a church, in front of a group of people who are coming together for a purpose. And those are some of the things that matter. I think, let me mention and finish the story of this friend who's 27 years old. And I noticed that she has all the capabilities of interacting, editing. She's way ahead of me. And I said to her, I wish I got your skill set to edit, to bring another video and connect it to this, because I haven't been able to do that yet because I don't know how to do it. And I'm doing this all by myself in my little office in my house. And I have her coming and we talked about this. And then the best thing happened 3 or 4 days ago when she came and she said, I'm on YouTube. And I went there on her YouTube channel. Very good presentation, very good presentation. She's smart, sharp, and she has all the tools available for her to do it with. Now, you may be in that place where you are way up in advance on skills on how to edit, how to manipulate the internet, to create things and bring sites and people together. You may be in that place where you're ahead of that, but your biggest issue is you're afraid. You don't want to rock the boat. Let me encourage you. Rock that damn boat. It's the best thing you can do. Step out of the boat, and that is going to be there for you. So just do the right thing. And when you do the right thing, something happens. Now, my friend has uploaded 4 videos already, and I noticed that she has over 300 views and people responding to her. She's talking about encouraging people if they have an issue of an elder adult. By the way, if you have the time, you can go to her YouTube called Nurse Bailey, Bailey. I can't even type her address here on YouTube, but you can go there and see her. This is just this week she started, or last week she started. And every day that I see a new video that she uploaded, something is happening inside of her. And that's where I think one of the hidden values and the hidden benefits of doing YouTube is it's going to create more authentic people. People who are true to themselves, and they will become a source of influence and a force of change. That's going to happen in our world, because when people go to YouTube or go to online, they expect a certain element of inauthenticity with AI coming and creating their own new ideas and all that. People are beginning to see, what I'm looking for on YouTube. I'm looking for somebody who's authentic in what they do. I hope that come across in my presentation to you. I am a 73-year-old double amputee, and at night I sleep in my bed with a dialysis machine. Health has been a challenge in the last 4 years, but it's not going to stop me from someone who's contributing something of value, because it's no longer me trying to go and create something outside. It's me having to go inside and discover who I really am. And for many years, this has been a way of life for me, helping other people, uplifting other people, encouraging other people, releasing other people to their gift, and giving them chances to prove themselves. You cannot prove yourself by sitting in a little hole by yourself. You have to go out there and touch people. And when you touch people with the idea that you can help and serve other people, the world will respond to you. YouTube is a very special platform that allow people to be authentic, that allow people to be real. You're discouraged? Tell me how discouraged you are and why. So I can understand, but also tell me what you're doing to step up and to move forward. By the way, this is Sosenele Au. Please subscribe to my channel, share this and like it. And I'm looking forward to seeing more of this coming in the years ahead. Thank you very much. God bless you. This is Sosenele Au.